Hello, Sim fans. Sim Fanatic with you again, bringing you this week's top 5 announcements for Microsoft Flight Simulator coming your way. All right, Sim fans, let's get started. So, number 5 for this week's top 5 announcements is an aircraft coming to us. It's not out yet, but announced by FlyingIron Simulations. It's a Spitfire Mark 9 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I'm pumped. DCS probably, right? If you're DCS fans, if you want to actually use a Spitfire in action, that's probably going to be your better sim, but it's still kind of fun to fly around, especially in an environment such as Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I felt that this was one worth noting. And, again, I'm loving the fact that more and more aircraft are coming out. By the way, I apologize for the graininess back here. I was supposed to have my box light today. It hasn't come yet. It's coming tomorrow. So I hope to have better lighting and we'll take care of that. Anyway, I'm big, as you know, on the aircraft. I want more aircraft, don't we all, right? And it takes time, it takes patience, right? But given that the Mark 9C aircraft is coming out for Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's going to be the first of hopefully many, if it's good, projects for FlyingIron. So the aircraft will include a detailed 3D cockpit, a professional wise sound model, and also a historically accurate flight model as well. So again, it looks like it's going to be beautiful. There's going to be 3 variants: a clipped wing variant, a Merlin 66 engine variant, and a high attitude Marlin 70 variant. Now, in the article by Threshold, the one thing that I did want to highlight here is this, as you can see. The developer believes that some of the cockpit systems are not quite as detailed as their work in X-Plane 11 on initial release due to the ever-shifting nature of the MFS SDK. So, that's something just kind of be aware of. We'll see how it looks. I sometimes wonder, are we going to be still limited in terms of what we can do? And during my live stream yesterday, I mentioned, X-Plane, it still has the better aircraft, and that's to be expected. Microsoft is just, relatively just come out. And so it's going to take time for the developers to get used to the new developer kits and working with the tools and developing in those and on a new platform. So I have no doubt that Microsoft will get there, but just, something to note, be aware of that. Okay, so looking forward, though, to another aircraft. It seems like I had another note I wanted to mention. Oh, yeah, the release date is not posted yet, but it looks like it could be 2 months at the earliest before we would see it in the marketplace. But in this article by ThresholdX.net, FlyingIron Simulations, sounds like they'll be making it available to all of us from their store. And so you won't have to wait for it to come to the marketplace because, apparently it takes like 6 to 8 weeks for these developers to submit it to Microsoft, and then Microsoft will go through testing and that. So it does take, that's pretty much a month and a half to 2 months. Something to be on a watch out for. Looking forward to it. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, Sim fans, for number 4. Yeah, another aircraft. How cool is this? And guess what? It's not just an announcement. You can actually buy it today. You can go out, get it. I haven't yet. So I don't know if it's great. I don't know if it's good. I do know it's exciting, and it made my number 4. I do plan on buying the aircraft since I can get it. I just haven't had time, Sim fans, to buy it and check it out. So what is it? Lionheart Creations released the Cicada Trinidad TB21 GT for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I think this is exciting. It's worth noting because, hey, we could always use more aircraft. So let's take a look. So what do we have? We've got some nice screenshots. You can go right out to Aerosoft's site, aerosoft.com. They've got it listed there. So, as usual, it's always nice to look at the plane. So hopefully you can see them here. So, yeah, it looks like the cockpit textures look look decent. I wouldn't say they look phenomenal, but they look decent. The outside looks pretty good. You know, a lot of times it's hard to tell exactly until you get into it and actually fly it around, check it out. So, you know, I got to be honest. It looks a little. I don't know what's the term I'm looking for. It looks maybe not like the greatest textures just by these screenshots, but again, until you get into it and look around and check it out, it's kind of hard to say. But, you know, whenever there's an aircraft that comes out, especially GA stuff like this, it's pretty exciting. And I think it looks like it's going to be worth at least a look. Current version is 3.3, as we can see here. Let's take a look at some of the features. So they have 22 different paint schemes, 3 different interior themes, gray, tan, and neon Euro blue. Wow, okay. So extreme detail virtual cockpit with updated and modified mesh mappings and graphics. So maybe I'm not being fair based off the screenshots. That's why I'm planning on buying this aircraft, checking it out. Probably will do a review. Again, exciting news. Anytime you see a new aircraft come out, at least for me. Hopefully you find this exciting as well. Disappearing control yoke for visibility. Okay. If you buy an aircraft these days, excuse me, and you pay real money, and by the way, this looks like it's what was it, $20 in euro, 21 euros, yeah, which equates, I think, around 36 US dollars. You're paying that kind of money, you should be able to remove the yoke, okay? But it's always nice to have that feature because not all of them do, and that's very annoying when you don't have it. Extreme high resolution textures in PBR format, complete with bump mapping. Here you go. Asobo high-ends avionics, including their GNS 530 and GNS 430 GPS systems. So that's nice. You know, right there, partnering with Asobo on that. And then a sound pack is also an Asobo creation with some incredible sound effects that only MSFS sound systems features, which include bumping sounds, performance maneuver groans from the airframe, and other cool effects. So I guess maybe that's cool. And then fold up armrest. So anyway, you know, probably in like a year or 2 years from now, maybe this particular kind of aircraft with those specs isn't going to be as exciting as the developers get better, including Lionheart. I'm sure they get, you know, more used to the software development kits and being able to really enhance their aircraft. But also, you know, Asobo is improving the simulator too, so it's gonna come from both sides. So it's just exciting because what do we have? We have a living, breathing simulator again that's updated, and it's backed by one of the biggest software companies in the world. And you know, so how cool is that? Exciting stuff. And so, but anyway, that's number 4. Let's get on to number 3. Okay, sim fans, number 3, this video right behind me, linked off of FS Dream Team site or Facebook page, this teaser for their new ground service vehicles program, the GSX, if you will. So you can see the pushback system. Hey, looks great, doesn't it? Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited about this. So, you know, the pushback system right now in Microsoft Flight Simulator is very, very lacking. And that's putting it mildly, right? So this looks pretty cool. You know, it's one thing I've missed from being an X-Plane. I know there's already a utility out there you can purchase. It's at least a system that you can use for pushback as opposed to the default pretty much broken one that's in Microsoft Flight Simulator by default. But I always like the better pushback system in X-Plane. So I'm excited about this product, the GSX product from FS Dream Team. And for those of you that were unprepared and used it, I always looked at that and thought, wow, I wish this was an X-Plane. So here we're going to see it in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's coming. So, you know, it's still under development. I'm not sure exactly when, you know, it's going to be released, but just seeing the teaser and knowing, yeah, usually when they have these things, it's coming. It's going to be soon. We don't have a date. At least I don't have a date. If anyone has a date that's watching this, please post in the comments below. But super excited about this because, again, the pushback system in Microsoft Flight Simulator is one thing that we don't really have yet. So this is exciting news. So it should be coming soon, I anticipate. And by the way, they did mention, FS Dream Team said they'll have multiple vehicles, ground service vehicles, that will have a lot of detail to each vehicle, like you can see in their pushback system here. So looking forward to that one. Let's get on to number 2. Okay, sim fans, now for number 2, Microsoft has said they will not dumb down our precious simulator for their Xbox Series X console. That's a statement that they made. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's take a look at this. So Jorg Newman sat down with Twin Finite. Hopefully I got that pronunciation right. And Jorg is he is the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So the thing that he had mentioned in the interview is that they're not going to dumb it down. So they don't want to make it like, oh, it's just focused on the Xbox controller, and now we're just going to focus on the console version. Okay. So that, I think that worried many of us as flight sim fanatics. You know, we've got all of our controls, our throttles, our yokes, our pedals, and we didn't want it dumbed down to a stupid Xbox controller. I'll just say it, right? Okay, so now with that, many of you probably know this, but if you don't, Asobo, Microsoft, and Honeycomb, which I've done several videos that you've probably seen reviewing, that I've got the Alpha flight controls, I've got the Bravo throttle quadrant. They're making the same versions of the Honeycomb flight controls for the Xbox Series X. So that's super duper cool. I mean, and you see where Microsoft is going with this. They're not dumb. You know, they want to maximize. I mean, the company's there to make money, right? So if they can get their audience, because let's face it, there are just console gamers out there and there are just PC gamers out there. Excuse me, I should say simmers, right? But so this could expand the market. Why is that good news? Well, first of all, they're not going to dumb down the simulator, right? So we're not going to start seeing, hopefully, anything break or no longer being focused on the PC version. They've told us from the beginning that bringing Microsoft Flight Simulator back was their primary focus and market is us PC gamers. But they're going to include the console. We knew it was going to include the Xbox Series X, the new console. I mean, why wouldn't it? It would make no sense for Microsoft not to have such a huge software title not come to the Xbox Series X. So what's really super cool about this is the fact that console gamers will be able to enjoy the simulator with these flight controls. And that goes back to, this interview with the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator. The fact that they are wanting to make sure that if a console gamer plays, they have the ability to get immersed in the simulator like us PC simmers. And that's a good thing because it makes the market bigger. And as long as they're saying from the get-go that they're not going to lose focus on the PC side and they're not going to dumb it down, that's definitely worthy of a number 2 top 5 for this week. So let's get on to number 1. Okay, Sim fans, the moment you've all been waiting for. Well, of course, it's going to be the February 4th update from the development team in Asobo on Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, number 1, why? Because finally it should be coming out this Thursday. They said their intent is that it'll come out this Thursday. So some key highlights are World 3 content is complete and it is in the final test phase. The photogrammetry cities that we talked about last week, those are in place. They say they're looking good. The United Kingdom update is coming with this update. And again, anticipated for Thursday, February 11th. Super exciting stuff because we haven't seen an update for a while. So this is worthy of a number 1, don't you think? I think it is. You may disagree, but I think this is pretty cool because it's another big world update and we've been waiting for so long for this to come out, fans. And so let's take a look at some of the screenshots. I think some of these were covered before. And I'll zoom in here so we can see them better. So it just looks really good. Just beautiful. And so the development roadmap, you can take a look at this. I'll have a link in the bottom. Check out some of the user feedback. And this is something that I think is exceptionally great about the fact that Microsoft is in Asobo. They're asking for community feedback so you can see what people are voting, what is trending, what do us simmers want to see changed and updated. And I'm sure many of you have provided feedback, and if you haven't, I encourage you to do so. So third-party updates too, some worthy notes here. Aerosoft's announcement the Airbus series is coming to the platform. That's great news, right? The Stearman biplane announcement from DC Designs, the great 45C Go Shock preview by India Fox Teco. And I have to check that one out. I'm not sure about that. The hint that the SR-71 from Milvas might be coming to the platform. That's a great aircraft, right? It's super cool. And then, of course, a bunch of approved payware partners, up 5 from last week, and, some other stuff on the aircraft like we talk about, plus 3 aircraft. We talked about a couple of those here, 182 sceneries total. So there you go, 25 that actually have either been released or in the various stages of development. Obviously, a lot of stuff. And then we talked about the SDK. They're just Microsoft. The good news here is they're really focused on helping third-party developers. And I think that's a genius move for them, that they understand and they realize that the developers and us community are as important, if not more important, than the stuff that they're really focused on and working on. So, and then of course, marketplace updates. Lots of stuff. So do check that out again. I will have a link down in the details of this video. So please check that out. Okay, Sim fans, well, that'll do it for this week's top 5 announcements for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I hope you found them valuable. Keep looking for it. I'm going to try to do this every week, get what I consider to be the top 5 announcements for me, and I hope you agree, or at least, get some benefit out of this, because I do see this as your channel. I want to hear from you. Comment below on what you would like to see, and I'll try my hardest to provide it. If you did like this video, please smash that thumbs up button, do a like, do subscribe if you haven't already. And again, thank you for joining me. I do appreciate all of you, and I hope that I can help you in ways that all of you have helped me. And let's build this, and let's continue to build this sim community. It's going to expand fans. It's going to keep growing, and that's a good thing. We talked about the Xbox Series X and the console and the different hardware plugging into it and making even a bigger audience. I know that might be a little scary for some of us, but try to look at it as a good thing. We'll see what happens. But Microsoft and Asobo, at least they're saying they're going to continue focusing on the PC side and us as the deep, diehard, core sim fanatics. All right. So until next time. And by the way, go Chiefs. Got to go catch the game. I've been a Chiefs fan all my life, so I'm excited to see what they can do. If you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, all good to you as well. Let's hope for a good game. And until next time, stay safe. And as always, blue skies. Take care.